All right, let's do this. A lot to talk about in this video. I don't want to make it too long, but we're going to look at altcoin market cap, going to look at Bitcoin price action on the short term, and Ethereum price action, giving probably the most insightful look at what to anticipate for price action for altcoin markets in general, and also even on the macro, this bull market, everybody. So hit the subscribe, hit the like on the way in. I want to jump into the video. Just a very nice picture to start the video because I know there's a lot of bears out there, especially on YouTube. You bears are out there on YouTube, and that is all good. It's okay to be a bear. Altcoin season 3.0 starts now. This is others, every coin versus Bitcoin, and you can just see where we are. This is just my opinion. To call a bear market at this moment, where it actually might be the very exact opposite, and I obviously think it is the exact opposite, is, in my opinion, just a mistake. And we'll see how this plays out. But a very nice illustration of the cycles, a very nice illustration of what I think is to come, and a very nice illustration of why altcoins, I think, are going to surprise. I want to start here, and then we're going to really dig into these charts. This altcoin market cap chart, I put in the title something like, bears could be making a mistake or be careful. I don't know what I'm going to put yet, but we're going to look at it. But before we do, just make a note of this. The recent market-wide crash belongs to one of the top 5 biggest liquidation events in Bitcoin's history. Each of those liquidation events preceded a trend reversal to the upside over time. Could history repeat itself yet again? So I went and I just marked this. I just want to give an idea of what we just survived because it was the biggest. And here we are. So COVID, billion-dollar liquidation, 24 hours. That was, actually, I'm sorry, right here. China ban. Don't know if you remember. This was May 2021. 8.6 billion. Terra Luna, 1.6 billion. FTX, 1.6 billion. Global uncertainty. This was just a random capitulation in summer of 2024, 1.2 billion. Tariffs. And by the way, notice the whole headline news of it all behind us. I genuinely think that headline was just a mechanism to be used for very big money, which we see institutions and whales accumulating retail. As retail's just exiting, they're scared. Big money has been accumulating through this entire event, and they continue to do so. And I think tariffs was just the headline that was used to capitulate retail. So this is just kind of a long-term picture of what's going on right now. But to really give you an idea of why I think that it's a mistake to call for some type of bear market right now. And also note, I'm not even talking about the fundamental bullishness that we have right now. This golden age that just started January 20th. Not even talking about it. It's there, not talking about it. But let's just take a glance at the entire market cap excluding top 10. So this is really altcoins and especially lower cap altcoins, but anything that is not in the top 10. What I want to show you here on this chart, and this is the be careful chart, is this. Historically, and if we look across cycles, you can get a sense of altcoin season, these purple lines. I just put it there as reference of where we are, right? So time frame wise, we are right here at the beginning of something powerful. But notice the moving averages and really these bottoming out areas, and specifically the 200-week moving average. This was a bottom, capitulating below. Here's the COVID swing low, capitulating below the 200-week moving average. Here's the bottom of the previous bear market, below the 200-week moving average. Here is the summer of 2024. We just looked at this capitulation on the other chart, right below the 200 moving average on the weekly. Here is where we are right now, right at this moment of this very bullish 2025 at the very beginning, testing just above the 200 week. So here's why I'm saying be careful calling for a bear market. If you look at this chart, it's already revisited the 200 week. You know what? Maybe we fall below it and we capitulate below it. But do you realize if you're a bear celebrating that move, like I knew at the beginning of the bear market is here, this is either right now or if it happens, and we're going to look at Ethereum and maybe get a glance of what it could look like. this is likely the last biggest opportunity in crypto before the true next leg up. So I just want to put this out there. We're in a consolidation, bottoming out formation on the long-term macro as we are just beginning the golden age. And there's no guarantee we even fall below this 200-week moving average. We are just in a higher low environment right now. So bear market low, next step up right here, next step up right here. I've received a lot of comments being like, I'm down so much over, I just saw one earlier over the last 6 months or so. And in my mind, I'm just looking at this and I'm just like, if you've been in this game on this higher low trajectory, this is a very healthy environment. And things actually have been just looking really nice, even with this big dip that we're in right now. So this is the warning chart. We are not in this type of environment, the top of a bull market. That is not what this chart is signaling. Look at even these moving averages, how close they are together. When we get into a top of a bull market, just look at the 20-week moving average and the 200. Look how far away they are in these tops of bull markets. Look at where we are right now. We are still consolidating before the power move, before the altcoin surprise. So I just want to put that data out there. Now, Bitcoin, I want to bring up Bitcoin because it gives us a sense of the volatility in the short term. Remember, maybe we fall a little bit lower on the altcoin market cap chart. So Bitcoin, just really watching this channel that it's in. Are we going to break up or are we going to break down? This $80,000 range continues to be in play as a target. So inverse head and shoulders, multi-year, massive, the throwback. It's all I've been talking about really since we've kind of started to just escape the neckline is the potential for a throwback. It's a normal move. So that's potentially in store for downside. There will be, I'm sure, a lot of people that in that moment are even more confident that we're in some type of bear market. But I'm telling you, I think, and this is all it is. It's just my opinion. I think it's the very beginning of continuation. And on this Bitcoin chart, it would be a higher low before continuation. More specifically, as we start thinking about altcoins, I want to look at Ethereum because this really lays out the groundwork. And I think I want to do a deeper dive on this, but let me first mention kind of the long-term picture of what's happening here. And then I'm going to dig into the short-term volatility on Ethereum price and what to look for price action. The first thing I want to make a note of is this. To find out what is likely to happen, explore what is likely not to happen. Here's our triangle. The breakout target for Ethereum to the downside is around like $500, $600. I realize, I say often, it could all go to zero. And we always have to just consider that. But this scenario, that this symmetrical triangle for Ethereum, and we're heading to this target, is the most unlikely thing. If you just zoom out and if you look at how institutions and whales are accumulating Ethereum right now, we've not even seen Ethereum break this March 2024 swing high. We're testing the apex of the triangle. We're in the beginning of altcoin season. I think it is highly unlikely that is not happening. So what does that lead me to? Well, it leads me to continue tracking the triangle and tracking multiple things. Number one, can we see Ethereum actually show support, very nice support at the lower trend line, right? So we have a wick below the lower trend line. Can we see support and we actually start trending up sooner than later? And then I'm going to talk about the likely next move for Ethereum. And that is this, as we zoom in on this chart after capitulation, the next likely move is just testing the 200. So currently, if Ethereum was to do it, it's around 3,000. But let's talk about for just a moment what that could look like. Could it happen in the coming days? Like we start trending up and testing the area, kind of meet the 20-day moving average around 3,000, maybe very confluent with the 200. That could happen starting now. But the other scenario is this. If we just take a glance at the 6-hour chart, the other scenario is Ethereum actually goes lower, swing low to swing high, Remember, this higher low is an area I've been tracking for just most altcoins right now after this capitulation. It's a very normal move if it happens. 2,300 to around 2,400. So Ethereum could do that on this 6 hour. We start falling, we break this lower trend line again. And then if we go back to the daily, this might be the more likely time after that move happens where Ethereum is going to bounce and test the 20-day. And who knows where the 20-day would be at that moment. And what we really need to be tracking is what happens at the 20-day test. So if it moves up now and tests the 20-day, what happens? If it falls first and then tests the 20-day, what happens? Ultimately, we're looking for the continued. So you can just look back here in summer 2024 capitulation. We're looking for the continued test of the 20-day. And ultimately, the moment where Ethereum breaks above the 20-day. But we have to allow for consolidation after this capitulation. How that looks, I do not know. But again, zoomed out, I think the most unlikely scenario is Ethereum, with all of this accumulation, is going to fall to this symmetrical triangle target. The more likely scenario would be, number one, we see support at the lower trend line at the apex of the triangle, start moving up, or we get a busted pattern. Ethereum capitulates, maybe even below the short-term Fibonacci support we just looked at, capitulates, and then falls back or pulls back into the apex, and it's a busted pattern, and then Ethereum breaks out. I do not mean to be a perma bull, but at this moment of the cycle, you're definitely not going to convince me to become a bear with everything going on. Even just from a charting perspective, we are not in this type of environment right now. If you look at this chart, if you look at the moving averages, if you look at it all, if you look at the timeline of it all, we're not there. So this is going to be very exciting to track. The short-term volatility, when you start looking at Bitcoin charts, Ethereum charts, it's there. Maybe we look for the potential support and bounce for Ethereum now. Maybe we look for Bitcoin to make its move to this upper trend line of this channel around 109, 108,000 and get a breakout. We can look for bullish and bearish targets on the short term, but I think on the macro, I think it's clear where we are. And zooming out and just being patient in these markets and preparing, in my opinion, is the best approach. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you're not a subscriber, please hit the subscribe, turn notifications on. If you enjoy the content, hit that like button. That support means so much to me. I appreciate each and every one of you. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.